Have you ever wondered why your advanced degree, professional license, or years of specialized training are not translating into the salary or business success that you expected? I know I did. So, like me, that disconnect might be costing you thousands every single month. Hey, I'm in Jadeka, a financial advisor, and I have walked exactly where you might be right now. And yes, despite having multiple investment licenses and professional degrees, even I found that there was a gap between qualifications and the income and business growth I was hoping to achieve in the beginning of my career. So, with that said, I want you to stick around because I'm going to let you all in on the three critical blind spots that held me back and are likely holding you back too. Plus, I'm going to share exactly what to focus on first to finally see real traction in both your career and business. So, let me be totally transparent with you. When I first got all my investment licenses and financial certifications, I thought I was set. I believed clients would naturally want to work with me because of my credentials and that my income would automatically reflect my expertise. I even expected my business to grow faster than my competitors because I had better qualifications. But here's what happened instead. I watched as financial gurus with fewer formal credentials built bigger audiences, created more successful businesses, and in many cases, earned substantially more income than I was making. So at first, it was frustrating. I would think to myself, I've spent years becoming properly licensed and learning compliance requirements in this highly regulated industry. I've done everything by the book. Why are these other people seeing more success when I'm technically more qualified? So, this is what I now call the credentials trap. That's the belief that your professional qualifications will automatically translate to salary and business success. So here's the reality, and I had to learn this the hard way. The marketplace doesn't pay you for your credentials, it pays you for the value that you bring. And being excellent at your profession doesn't automatically mean that you know how to package, market, and sell that expertise. So, what exactly are these three blind spots that kept me, and likely keep you, from turning your professional credentials into the salary and business success that you deserve? The first blind spot was the most obvious for me. I simply didn't have the right business skills. And looking back, that makes perfect sense. I spent years studying for my Series 6, 63, and other financial licenses. So, yeah, I mastered complex regulations, investment vehicles, and fiduciary requirements. But no one taught me how to create a compelling offer that I could sell, right? No one taught me how to build a marketing system that attracted clients. No one taught me how to set pricing that actually reflects my value. I remember sitting in my office one day, looking at my beautifully framed licenses on the wall and realizing a hard truth. While I was studying for regulatory exams, my future competitors, many of them who weren't even properly licensed, they were learning copywriting, they were learning sales psychology, and they were learning marketing automation. In fact, let me tell you a fascinating study that I came across just recently, and it confirmed that my experience wasn't even unique. It found that 68% of professionals who start businesses fail within the first 2 years, not because their services weren't excellent, but because they never mastered these fundamental business and marketing skills. The second major blind spot that I had to overcome was what I called the platform problem. Like most credentialed professionals, I had spent my career building authority within institutional frameworks, so financial firms, regulatory bodies, client referral networks, but I hadn't built my own independent platform. So in my regulatory industry, I was following the traditional playbook. Get your licenses, join an established firm, follow compliance guidelines, and clients will come. Meanwhile, other financial personalities were building massive platforms through YouTube, podcasts, and social media. So here's what really opened my eyes. I was at a financial conference where a popular money guru was speaking. This person didn't have half of my credentials or regulatory oversight, but had 10 times my income and 10 times my audience. Why? Because they have built a direct connection to their market that didn't depend on institutional gatekeepers. I realize that in today's world, success requires having your own platform, a way to directly reach your potential clients without relying on traditional channels or institutions. So for me, this eventually meant building an email list of potential clients interested in my specific approach, right? A social media following focused on my financial niche. It meant this YouTube channel where I could speak directly to you, right? It meant appearing on podcasts where I could demonstrate my expertise. What I discovered is that the professionals who thrive, both in corporate environments and in business, they aren't necessarily the most credentialed. They're the ones who build platforms that allow them to communicate their value directly to their market. So the third and most subtle blind spot for most people, now, honestly, this is one where I believe that I actually had a unique advantage. This one is called the value translation problem. As a licensed financial professional, I was trained to communicate using specialized language, right? Technical terms and industry jargon that worked perfectly when I was talking to other financial experts. I could tell you about asset allocation models, sequence of returns risk, fiduciary standards. But here's where my background in community organizing became incredibly valuable. Before my financial career, I spent years calling people on the phone, door knocking, hosting town halls and rallies, and organizing working class families in South Central Los Angeles, meaning I had already been trained on how to make complicated topics simple and relatable. This prior experience gave me a significant head start. So while I still had to adjust to translating financial concepts specifically, I already had the fundamental skill of connecting with people where they were. And I noticed this challenge constantly with my colleagues, though. I remember watching a brilliant financial planner lose a prospect because he spent 20 minutes explaining the technical details of a strategy without ever translating it to what the client actually cared about. And my breakthrough moment was when I was speaking with the prospect about a complex tax advantage investment strategy. And rather than diving deep into the mechanics of it, I just simply said, so what this means is that you could potentially save $27,000 in your taxes this year and put your kids through college without even touching your retirement accounts. And suddenly, they were engaged. Nothing about my credentials or technical experience had changed, but I had translated my value into a language that connected with what they actually cared about. I see this struggle with professionals across fields, doctors, attorneys, engineers, and others who are amazing at what they do, but they just struggle to communicate their value in terms that resonate with clients. It's about learning to translate your expertise into a language that connects with what people actually care about, even while staying within any regulatory boundaries of your industry. So how did I overcome these blind spots and start seeing my credentials finally translate to both salary growth and business success? I developed what I now call the value bridge framework, which is just a systematic approach that I've refined through my journey. So the framework has three components: skill development. So I had to identify and acquire specific business skills that weren't taught in any licensing exam or continuing education course. So for me, this meant learning marketing, sales, and audience building while staying compliant. Next was platform building. So I created my own direct connections to my market that didn't depend solely on my firm or traditional financial industry channels. And finally, value translation. I really strengthened my ability to communicate my expertise in ways that connected directly to the client problems and their desires while still maintaining my professional standards. Now, and let me be clear, I don't regret my licenses or my credentials. They give me knowledge, they give me legitimacy, and the ability to actually deliver on what I promise. But I needed that framework to help make sure that those credentials translated to the success that I wanted. And here's the secret that I missed for too long, and pay close attention to this because it's crucial. These three elements must be developed in the right order of your specific situation. So when I coach professionals now, I find that some might need to focus on skill development first. Others already have skills but need to prioritize building their platform. And some have both skills and a platform, but they struggle to translate their value effectively. So if you are facing the same challenges that I did, meaning that your credentials are not translating to the income or business success that you deserve, I would love to help you bridge that gap. So, why not book a 60-minute strategy session with me where I'll identify your specific blind spots and create a customized value bridge plan for your fastest path to increase income? In addition to assessing your current financial situation, this is one of the primary benefits of our consultation, just getting clarity on exactly what to focus on first. The link to get on my calendar is in the description below. And if you found this video valuable, you will definitely want to check out my next video on why your financial advisor isn't helping you create new income streams. As someone who's been on both sides of the table, I will be exposing the limitations of traditional financial guidance, especially when it comes to their clients' entrepreneurial desires, and I'm going to show you on what to focus on instead. So again, hit subscribe and the notification bell so that you don't miss any upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, your credentials are valuable, but they're just the beginning of what you can achieve. See you next time.